All right, it's Newspaper Review, and we are glad to have you on the show. This is a time we look at some of our stories making the headlines on our national dailies. We begin with the stories making the waves in ABS website.
20 million naira community choose your project. A dozen Nuku inaugurates integrated modern pavilion. Okuzu community holds grand reception for indigenous state government appointees. Catholic community celebrates Corpus Christi. Obiano wife conferred with chieftaincy titles by Orca North communities. Third phase of Anambra Community Choose Your Project initiative commences next year. 2018 Anambra NUG Press Week kicks off with church service. 33 suspected IPOB members paraded at Amobia over killing of police inspector, attack on others at Newi.
I think let's begin with the celebration yesterday of Corpus Christi, which in other words is known as Christ the King Day.
Christ the King Day.
Yes.
It was Christ is King.
Oh, actually, he is King over all, you know, and Christians, Catholics, they were jubilant, you know, during the celebration. And what we want to encourage Christians at this point, you know, to know that whatever situation, whatever circumstance we're passing through, let's know that Christ is still the King, you know, and he rules in every situation.
And it's expedient that they get to know that we get to know that we're Christians, you know, because when you look at what's really happening in the world these days, most times, you know, we always pray that let our enemies not ask us, is your God alive? You know, so regardless of what's happening, let's know that there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Again, there's every tendency for one to lose faith, you know, with the economic turns that we experience, you know, with issues in the family front, so many things to really weigh you down spiritually. But as we celebrated that day yesterday, we encourage each and every one of us to know that whatever the situation, Christ is still the King.
It's King, yeah.
Congratulations to the Catholics.
Congratulations to Christians generally.
All right, let's move on. Let's look at this 20 million community Choose Your Project initiative. You know, this first of its kind, you know, we've never seen it happen. And Enugu State has borrowed a leaf from Anambra State, but they're not giving up to what we are giving, actually.
Well, the thing is, they borrowed a leaf. They saw what was good in Anambra State, what the governor started. So even if they can't measure up for now, it's always a good thing to start. You know, there's always there's this saying that the best way to get there is start. You know?
And you know, to think of it that a government says, think of what you need as a community. Yeah. You know, let's give you some money to
develop it.
It's a good one. And now the first phase has gone. The second phase has gone. The third phase will be starting next year. You know.
And I think, I don't think, but I know it's a good thing, because when you look at the whole communities in Anambra State, the governor has earmarked 20 million. You don't know, you don't get 20 million. You don't go to the market and get 20 million. It's even difficult for you to do a kind of business now and just get that 20 million. Yes, we know you can always get it, but you know, for the government to come out and earmark such amount for every community to do something meaningful in the community, it's a big one. And I hope that when this present government finishes, you know, ruling, the next government should continue
in where he's, you know. And when you go to some of these communities, you know, I've been privileged to cover some events in some of the communities. You will see massive projects. You know, you will see massive projects which some communities have been able to. And look at this one, the one that we have here, that Adazin Nuku inaugurates integrated modern pavilion. Now that goes to show that we actually know what we want as a people, and government has given us money, and we came together, because it's not easy to come together as a community and to utilize this money for the purpose that it's meant for, you know,
a particular goal.
So we say kudos to the government of the day, and of course kudos to some communities that could bring themselves together, you know, to manage these funds.
I looked at this initiative and I can't help but just, you know, give a big shout out to the governor and the government, you know, because not just only the fact that they earmark this money, they make use of the people in that community. So it's even away from the fact that we want to do something for you guys.
That's if you're an engineer,
yes,
you'll be used.
Creating job for the indigents of that community. So it's a big one, if you ask me. And like I said, whatever it is, let's hope this continues even after this administration. All
right, we say very big thanks to the governor, working governor Willie Obiano. And we pray that the good Lord will continue to give you more wisdom to develop our community the more. Now, let's look at this. This phase. Okay, NUJ Press Week kicks off with church service. I think that was yesterday. Yeah. They have a program lined up for the week as they celebrate their. They have their this thing. Programs lined up for the week, and that without information, I wonder how society will survive without information.
Oh, it's a great one. The Nigerian Union of Journalists coming together. There's always a saying that whatever you want to do, it's always good to begin with God, and end with God. Mm-hmm. So, starting the week in church is a great faith, and I hope that things will work out well and best for the Nigerian Union of Journalists. Just like you said, without the journalist, without telling people what's happening. Information. And,
I wonder the kind of society
you could just wake up in the morning and you don't know that, hey, you really need to go to the next street because something is happening, but you don't know about it. So I think it's a good one for them.
And we say kudos to journalists, for bringing out information that helps the people around. Now, finally, let's look at the disturbances that we had at Newe last week. Here, the story has it that 33 suspected IPOB members paraded at Anambra over killing of police inspector, attack on others at Newe. I've always said that
it's sad.
Violence, crisis can never make anything better, It can never make anything better. I think dialogue is the best.
What
dialogue should be best.
They have whatever they're fighting for, but you can't go about this killing people. You can't go about this maiming people. You can't go about this taking someone else's life because you probably want to achieve something,
or even causing tension in the society.
In the society, in the state, it's not good. Whatever their grievances, the IPOB members will plead wherever they are. I mean, they should take it easy. Like we've said, dialogue is the best. Whatever it is, we can always talk about it. Mm-hmm. We can sit down like, okay, Nonye, I don't like this. How can we make this work? How can we achieve this? It's better than
of course, it's better because there's this adage from Igbo people that says, "Na adobicha zokwo no na rezues." When you go about causing violence, the state to the society, at the end of the day, do you think the society will be what it should be or better than what it is?
And at the end of the day, you may still end up coming back to the dialogue.
All right. Table. Let's now run to the papers. The Sun newspapers is first for review this morning. In case you're watching us, please, this is audience participatory. The Daily Sun newspapers, the banner headlines there, as Buhari meets service chiefs again, Air Force bombards Boko Haram camps, military probes Borno killings, recovers slain soldiers' bodies. Up there we have police IPOB clash, IGP orders recovery of snatched weapons. Down here we have Gowon warns Christians against revenge attacks. Wike orders arrest of collapsed buildings owner, sets up commission of inquiry. 15 cattle traders die in KB auto crash. Let's begin with the bold headlines there. As Buhari meets service chiefs again, Air Force bombards Boko Haram camps, and military probes Borno killings, recovers slain soldiers' bodies. Quite a pity.
Heartbreaking.
Quite a pity, that you will tell your family that you're going for work, only for you to be brought back as a corpse. Our prayer is that God will console the families of the slain soldiers at this point in time. All right, let's run. Moving down, we have Wike orders arrest of collapse. You know, you watched the building that collapsed in Port Harcourt, River State.
It was painful. We talked about this time and time again. And I don't know why people feel that it's about them. Because if you're given a contract to build places where people will live, why would you use materials
substandard?
Because it's becoming a norm with the engineers or whosoever are in charge of all this. You cannot acquire wealth at the expense of people's life. Because trust me, one day it will be your loved one in some way.
You know, they're saying that when you throw a stone in the market, you don't know who the stone is going to fall on.
Yes.
Will be your relative.
I mean, it's not nice.
And we are being joined right away by Roy Ekunife to help us look at some of these national dailies. Welcome to the studio, Roy.
I'm glad to be here. Good morning. Yeah.
All right, remember that this program is audience participatory, as we told you earlier. The phone lines are on the screen for you to actually call and make your own opinion count on any issue raised here. Let's run to the Daily Times newspapers.
All right, stories making the headlines on the Daily Times. Amidst pomp, Chidinma Aaron emerges 42nd Miss Nigeria. 25-year-old queen gets 3 million naira luxury apartment, automobile. Chisom Dunu Ame Munira clinched first, second runner-up. Attack on military, we will prevail over Boko Haram, Buhari assures Nigerians. Obasanjo Jonathan orders Anna Atiku in Yola as ex-VP, now Waziri Adamawa. Anambra police suspects trade wars over killing of inspector. Block molders pass votes of confidence on Dangote Blockmaster. On top of that story, Forex T bills other turnovers hits 145.7 trillion naira in 10 months. Transactions turnover declined by 3.30 trillion in 1 month. As CBN reports, $3.98 billion FX net flows loss in third quarter. Now let's look at the big one, of course. That's the big story. Miss Pong, Chidinma Aaron emerges 42nd Miss Nigeria, gets a car, a luxury apartment, and 3 million naira.
Well, it's good. A good start for her. She should be empowered, to attain greater heights. But I'm interested in the attack on the military. I think it calls for proper investigation, because if the military is saddled with the responsibility of protecting the sovereign integrity of the country, and if they are decimated and killed in large numbers, I wonder what happens to the country. So I am calling on the presidency to do a thorough investigation on that issue, and then bring the perpetrators to book.
And you remember, it's not been quite long where the one major was
yes.
the car was drowned. And
yes.
It's not more than 2 weeks
in
that happened.
Yes.
And this now.
So what does this really say? That if the soldiers can be killed this way, then we the citizens are anything.
So what will happen to the common man walking the street? I mean, so it calls for proper investigation, and it is one of the responsibilities of any government in power to ensure adequate protection of life and property of the citizens.
All right, let's move to the Punch newspapers right now for review. The story, the banner headline to have there, Metele base attack, probe military budget. Now groups, opposition parties tell Buhari. With a rioter there, President meets service chiefs over killings. Up there we have Atiku will carry out responsibilities with dignity. That's coming from Obasanjo. Strike. Federal government, ASU, hold another crucial meeting today. Visa-seeking Nigerian students lament sad experiences at U.S. Embassy. Down here we have, never again will Nigeria be governed by opportunists. That's coming from Oshomole. And gang rapes 13-year-old virgin while unconscious. Police parade 33 IPOB members over inspector's killing. All right, let's look at the story of strike and the federal government as to meeting today. What's your take on that?
Strike is like, do I call it an a la carte these days? It's like a song on everybody's lips. NLC is threatening to go on another strike over the 30,000 naira minimum wage as is on strike. And today, one of the papers, they say they live on, that the strike continues.
All right, let's see who is here before we continue. Hello, good morning. Hello, anybody there? Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, you are calling from Anambra.
Who?
What's your name, Austin?
Okay. I want to thank the crew this morning, and I want to align my view with what I have just said on the insecurity situation in the nation. If the military, who are supposed to protect over 120 million people in the nation, can be so and still the numbers, despite the fact that the military has not come up in this particular number of soldiers killed, then what is the guarantee of the common man on the street? So, and this some newspapers have to tell us that our airport has bombarded the Boko Haram camp. So many times we have been given this kind of news, but yet Boko Haram is still taking upper hand in stealing and so many other insecurity things that have been done in Nigeria.
All right.
So we are saying that it is that time the military organize themselves very well and know what to do to handle the insecurity situation in the nation.
All right.
Not by being deceiving us all the time. We've done this with compassion. These are propagandas.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you
you
very much for that wonderful contribution. You know, he has said it all. Now, moving on, talking about the strike, you know, something happened recently that one boy went to swim and got drowned. And of course, that was a student. So somebody was like, had it been this boy is busy with academic work, he wouldn't be out there,
of course,
you know, doing some other thing that claimed his life. All right, let's run. For want of time, let's move to the next paper right now, The Guardian.
Pressure on Buhari to probe military spending. Underneath, again, President meets service chiefs on killing of troops. Why Boko Haram fight is a cash cow, hotbed of corruption. As the question wants honor for slain soldiers, transparency. PDP, Agwai tax every government on prioritized deployments. Don't retaliate against killings, Gowan urges Christians. Atiku, culture-oriented, humble leader, says Obasanjo. We inherited bad economy, widespread graft. Buhari maintains no more conferment of honorary awards on me, says Shoyenka. Deja vu, EFCC manipulates courts to obtain order. Well, let's quickly look at, of course,
pressure to probe military spending.
The headlines, the big one there.
The pressure to probe military spending. It depends on the angle they are coming from. Is probe of military spending going to stop, like the recent killings we had? Is it going to stop corruption? Is it going to? I'm interested in the area that says we inherited a bad economy. That's coming from Oshomole. When APC came on stream, they promised the whole nation change. And when they inherited bad economy, what have they done to improve on the bad economy?
That's a very big question. That's a very big question. All right, please. Sorry, we can't pick more calls for want of time here. We're sorry about that. And we'd like to appreciate you, Roy Ekunife, for joining us on the review of papers this morning.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.